Hey y'all, it's Gemini Jazz with House of Chiron, and we are going to talk a little bit about my brief hiatus. Well, it really wasn't brief, it was kind of long, but basically what I've been doing, just a little bit, not much. But we're mostly going to talk about this new moon in Capricorn, right? So the new moon was a solar eclipse and it was in Capricorn. I have a lot to discuss regarding this. I'm going to try and touch on the majority of it if I can't touch on all of it. But I'm really going to try and dive deep. I wrote 3 pages of notes just so I won't miss anything. So bear with me, please. So first, we're going to just talk briefly about why I'm taking my little hiatus, and I've been kind of MIA from posting and doing all these things that I normally do. I needed to have a break. I think I've mentioned this before on my page, just kind of briefly, that I just needed space and time to just be and not feel obligated to do the posting and the dailies and the weeklies and all the things that I do. Because at the end of January, so the beginning, February 1st, I will be full-blown entrepreneur, doing this full-time, making my own money, making my own time, just literally taking hold of my life. And yeah, I'm taking control over my time, my money, everything. So it's very funny because all of the transits that have been happening since 2018 into 2019 and now moving into 2020, things that have happened within my birth chart, my own personal chart, has actually prepared me for this. So this is part of my cycle to step out on my own, become autonomous. That's part of my journey, my purpose. I have my North Node in the first house, so my purpose is to be myself, and it's in Taurus. I have a Taurus rising, so that is possessions and the things that I value, so on and so forth. We can get into my chart another day, but basically this is just me in preparation, stepping into my purpose, listening to the call and answering the call. So with that being said, let's talk about this new moon in Capricorn. It was a solar eclipse that happened. It was Christmas. You can say it was Christmas because it was actually happened on the 26th, so the day after Christmas. So let's just be technical about it. It happened the day after Christmas, but it was very early in the morning. So this new moon was different only because, not just because it was an eclipse, but also because it was in conjunction with Pluto, with Saturn, with Jupiter also being there, the South Node. And of course, a new moon is the sun and the moon together. So Pluto, Saturn, the South Node, Jupiter, Sun, Moon. Then there's also Folu, right, which is an asteroid. And we'll get into all of that real soon. So this is basically creating a release of old patterns, release of karma, whether it's past life karma or karma from this life from the past, things that you have left undone or things that you have not resolved coming back to surface so you can actually gain the insight to release it, because this is the time to let things go, because 2020 is a whole new decade. And at the end of 2020, we will be stepping into most of these strong planets like Saturn and whatnot will be in air signs for the next 200 years. This hasn't happened in 800 years. So this is the start. We've already experienced the age of Aquarius with the information age is what we're in right now, the boost of technology, but it's going to start really picking up. You're going to see a really huge boom in technology in this age of Aquarius, of the humanitarian efforts, the things that are just eccentric, and that Uranus energy that we have right now with Uranus and Taurus. So we'll get into all that soon too. This might be a long one, so y'all bear with me. Anywho, so something to keep in mind is that because it's eclipse season. So when I say eclipse season, that means that there's going to be a solar eclipse and then there's going to be a lunar eclipse. We've already experienced the solar eclipse that was in the sign of Capricorn. And then at the middle of January, we will have our lunar eclipse. And this lunar eclipse that we have coming up is going to be very, very powerful, because we're going to have it during the same time that Saturn and Pluto make an exact conjunction, right? So Saturn being what I call Big Daddy Saturn. I'm sure y'all see me say that. It's father time. Also rules structure, stability, your schedule, the hard work. That's Saturn. And then it's going to be there with Pluto. Pluto is all about transformation. It's all about the removal of things, the things that are transitioning. Death, not literal death, but it can be literal death. But like the death of things that are dying away, that are no longer resonating with the current situation that we are all in. So it's just transformational. So we're transforming these structures. Keep in mind also that Saturn rules politics. Saturn rules the government. Saturn rules all types of structures of all types. So if we are transforming things of that nature, we're transforming the structures, we're transforming all of this. Y'all can kind of see this energy happening in politics right now. Just throwing it out there, but I ain't getting into that. That ain't my forte. Anywho, so like I was saying, we have this eclipse season, and in between the two eclipses that actually come along, it is a season for transformation. So right now we are in the season in between the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse of transforming. So that's why we have this new year release and have the set your intentions for the new year, your New Year's resolution and whatnot. It's about what you're transforming. And I hope you all, just putting a little plug out there, I hope you all had the opportunity to set your intentions actually on the winter solstice. And I'm not getting into that. That's a whole nother video. But that's when you're really supposed to set your intentions, is on the winter solstice. But either way, we have the new year coming. Right now it's a time for new beginnings and to transform and to release things in order to accept the newness that's coming in for the new year. Not only are we going into a new year, we are going into a new decade, right? So the things from the previous decade are now dying away. It's now transforming. Either it's completely being removed or it's transforming to a higher level of being, right? So with this, things will start transforming and manifesting on an internal level, and you will start seeing this happen, or you will start feeling this happen, whether it's internally on a soul level, or emotional level, or it could be something on a mental plane, right? Because there are different planes of our reality, different soul levels that we have, right? So with that being said, you will feel it before you actually see the manifestation of it. And that's how all things happen. It starts with the mind and it comes out to the physical reality. So this is a really big time for things, to change, and a really great time to see big things happen, right? So this eclipse season is going to push us to start something new in the new year. So at the start of the new year in 2020, based on the information that we are receiving between this solar eclipse that just happened and the beginning of the year, we are receiving information. We're receiving downloads. We're receiving insight and wisdom. And this wisdom and this insight is giving us the information and the tools that we need, and as well as the inspiration to start something new, like a trajectory in a sense, like to push forward on like creating something. It's like a lot of aha moments, and I'll get into the reason why. So, and this is also happening on a spiritual level. It's happening on a like a more intuitive based level, because this is promoting spiritual growth, because everything that happens to us is to create higher consciousness, right? And so during this time, because of the certain aspects and the different transits that are there that are happening with this, there's a sense or an air of uncertainty. You're not comfortable. You're not quite sure which direction to take. You're not quite sure what's going to happen. So a lot of the fear of the unknown can be setting in. A lot of anxiety could be happening right now, because you're just not certain with where things are going. Right? It's just that fear-based kind of thing. And it's normal, but at the same time, we know how to, I can teach you how to navigate through that. We'll talk about that later. Either way, so moving on. All right, so knowing that this is going to bring this sense of uncertainty, this is how we're going to navigate through this. It's not necessarily using our human logical minds to figure out the solutions to the things. It's about actually not using our brains at all. Let's not think at all about where we're going. Let's not try to even attempt to solve the problems or figure out what we should do next or whatever. We're not solving anything with our mind. We're rather leaving it alone, and we're allowing the universe to show up for us. It's kind of like that, that saying, you got to just let it go and let God. So the word that I like to use is surrender. And I have a really hard time with doing this. So I know it's easier said than done, but yes, surrender, just let it go. Just like, you know what? It will actually happen naturally for a lot of us, to where we just gonna be like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm done trying to figure this out. I'm done with trying to force this to happen this way, or having the control over how the outcome is going to happen. And you're just going to surrender. And that's the universe preparing us to put in place the things that we need, the necessities in our life, the newness that's coming in. So, the reason why this is happening is because we have Jupiter and Uranus right there. So with Pluto, Saturn, the South Node, Jupiter, Sun, Moon, and Folu, right? So Jupiter is there. Jupiter is what they consider the greater benefic. It promotes growth and expansion and prosperity and just beneficial outcomes. So Jupiter is going to be making this trine with Uranus, or it has been making this trine with Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus has been shaking up and creating these situations that cause us to reevaluate the things that we value, the things that we possess. And it's all things that we possess, our beliefs that we possess, the things that we physically and tangibly possess, how we make our money, our partnerships, what we value within our partnerships, what we value within ourselves. So Uranus and Taurus has been doing this, but more on a subtle level. It hasn't been doing it, very abruptly. It also has been, depending on where it is happening in your chart. Like, for instance, with me, Uranus and Taurus is on my ascendant, because I'm a Taurus rising. So it's on my ascendant. And during this time, I changed my hair. I think I mentioned it to y'all before. I have purple, and you can't really see the green and the blue, but it's in there. So the first house and the ascendant is your outward appearance. So I've made adjustments to my outward appearance. I've also become more open with who I am, what I do, my values regarding what I desire in my life. Just even, with my family, letting them know, like, this is what I believe. This is what I value. This is what I do. This is my business, so on and so forth. And since it's in Taurus, it's also about my possession. So this is another reason as to why I have put in my resignation from my job. It's just part of it, right? Preparing me for what's to come, what my soul desire, and what I set here to do. Get off that tangent, get back on track. So that's just an example of what the Uranus energy has been bringing us this entire time. But now that Jupiter is there, making this trine with it, is giving us this insight, right? Because these are the planets of wisdom. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and it's the ruler of the 9th house, which is higher beliefs, higher education, philosophy, so on and so forth. Also, as well as long distance travel. So this is the planet of wisdom. Both of these are the planets of wisdom. And the role that they are playing is to provide the wisdom and the insight, right? So along with this new moon, the energy that we're getting with this new moon. So the new moon is here to highlight the things that need to be released for our new intentions to come forth. So Jupiter is more so on a level of angelic knowledge, right? So the knowledge from, the higher ups, whereas Uranus is the divine wisdom. So that's from even above the angels, the angelic wisdom. So Jupiter is like your intuition. That's your divine intuition, and Uranus is going to bring the solutions. So the Uranus information comes very quickly. It's downloaded and it's understood on a very quick basis, a quick level. So you have these two working together because the trine is very favorable. You have these two energies working together to give you the insight, to give you these aha moments that I previously spoke about. So it's like shining the light on the direction that we need to take regarding our purpose. So you're going to be getting a lot of revelations as to why things have not worked out in your favor, regarding whatever it is that you're trying to set out on doing, whatever you're embarking on. You're going to be getting a lot of revelations as to what beliefs you have been holding on that have been limiting you from experiencing the life that you desire. It's also going to be shining a light on your purpose. If you have not quite yet seen that, it's going to be shining a light on the direction to get to your purpose, or what it is that you need to do within your purpose in regards to your purpose, hence me quitting my job. Right? So solar eclipse is, as I mentioned before, all about new beginnings. So this new moon, the solar eclipse, is in a conjunction with the South Node, or what they call Ketu in Vedic astrology. And so there's Rahu and there's Ketu. So Rahu is the head, which is the North Node, and Ketu is the tail, which is the South Node. And that's a whole nother subject we'll get into another day. But it's in Vedic astrology. So it's a very spiritual thing. So it's the head and the tail of the dragon. And the South Node is the South Node are the things of the past, whether it's past life, past karma, things of the past in this current life, and it's things that the past experience that actually need a resolution, that you have not actually received a resolution or an understanding of. It's the things that I was mentioning that have been holding you back to keep you from experiencing the life that you desire. So on Christmas Day or around Christmas time, you could have gotten some insight. You could have gotten a download. You could have gotten a message from something outside of yourself, from someone unexpected that gave you the insight that you had no idea about, like whether it's on a mental level, oh, well, this is what's happening and this is why it's happening for you, kind of thing, or why it's been happening in this way. And so how to transition or move through this energy, you have to look at it from this angle, kind of thing. And you could be getting these different bursts of inspiration and ideas from people just randomly during that time around, Christmas Day, the rise of the sun. So, because that's when, the new moon happened around that time. So, yes. So like I was saying, these are things that are hidden. It's always things that you cannot see because it's deep, subconscious things. It could be things that are just hidden to you on the subconscious level, or just completely hidden to you in reality. Things that you just had no idea were happening. Things that you had no idea were manifesting, or were keeping you, restricted in a sense. And these things that happen, that are happening, or that have been sitting there in your subconscious, now that there's something that has come from the outside or come from within to tell you or to show you, give you this aha moment on how to transition and remove or move from this energy. Now it's going to allow you to purge or to clear this thought or to clear this belief or to clear this circumstance from your life in order to have that space to allow the newness to come in that's coming with 2020. So the things that have been embedded in your subconscious now are, in a sense, you can look at it this way, like they have been attached in your subconscious and now they are detached, and now the purge and the removal of those things are coming within these next couple of weeks before, our lunar eclipse that happened in January. So, let's see. Oh, okay. So there is another aspect that I wasn't quite knowledgeable on. And I was reading about it, and it was about Mulla. Mulla is, in Vedic astrology, it's a constellation. It's the constellation of it's known as the destroyer of untruths. Right? So to me, this sounds like Oya energy to me, So the constellation is the destroyer of untruths. So I found it very interesting that this is also there in conjunction with all of these planets, as well as the asteroid Folu. And we'll get into what Folu is in a moment. But Mulla is, from what I read, was that it's near the heart of the galactic center, which is the center of our universe. And it destroys the lies, right? The lies you tell. The lies that we tell ourselves, the lies that we tell others, the lies that we continue to live in and live by day to day. It is the destroyer of those lies. So those restrictions, those limiting beliefs, it is the destroyer of all these horrible things that we tell ourselves and the horrible things that we think of ourselves and think of the environment and the world around us. And it is the destroyer of that. And so it is also known as the root of things. So it's the root of your subconscious. So it's in your subconscious. And the root, if you look at it this way, the root in astrology is the fourth house, which is the house of home and family, the mother, your upbringing, your subconscious teachings in a sense, right? Your childhood. So if this is considered the root of all things, this is you reevaluating the things that you were taught, your conditioning, and it is destroying the things that you were conditioned to believe. It's the destroyer of all those lies that we have been taught that are not true. They no longer resonate. They're not helpful. They're limiting all this. It has to go in order for us to receive the life that we desire. So, so this is also where you can see your conscious patterns stem from, right? So the things that you do consciously comes from your subconscious patterns. So the things that you don't really know are there. So that's your conditioning, your conditioning, the beliefs that you hold within your subconscious. And so we act these things out and we play these things out in our lives. And with this Mulla being there, it is destroying the lies that we have been telling ourselves. It is destroying these limiting beliefs that cause us to behave and have these certain behaviors and certain things that we do in life that have been keeping us restricted, keeping us in the same space, like it's a torture, I guess you can. It's been like self-torture. So also this constellation, all of these things are happening in the sign of Capricorn, like I mentioned before, and Capricorn promotes the physical manifestation, right? So it's all about the hard work that creates the tangibility of things. So basically what this is translating to is that the universe is supporting us by removal of things. It's going to feel a little chaotic. It's going to feel uneasy and it's not going to be comfortable with it, but it's support. It is the support that we need to remove these things in order to create. Because 2020 is the year of the master builder. I am a master builder, by the way. My number is 22. So it's the year of the master builder, or you can say reduce it down to a 4. However y'all do it nowadays, 22. But that's what 2020 is about. So 2020 is about manifesting. 2020 is the manifestation year. So in order to create, you must remove the things that are holding you back from building. So talk a little bit about Folu, right? So Folu is the asteroid, and the asteroid that represents the point of it is, what is it? What I like to consider it is the point of no return, right? It's the catalyst. It's the reason why things shifted or the reason why things changed. So this is the catalyst to the new beginnings that are coming in 2020, right? So that's kind of what this energy of this new moon, the solar eclipse new moon, has brought us. It is going to shake things up, or it has shaken things up if you've already kind of experienced some things. But I'm going to kind of briefly touch on where this is happening in everyone's chart. So listen for your sun, moon, and your rising. The reason why, and also listen if you have a stellium. And a stellium is if you have a cluster of planets in one sign. So for instance, I have a stellium in Gemini. So I will also listen for Gemini for that reason, but I'm a Gemini sun, so there's that. So listen for your sun, moon, your rising, and because there's different levels of the soul that you need to listen to. So your sun is more so your personality, your moon is your emotions, your rising is your outward appearance. So I would listen for your rising as first, that's primary, Your sun is secondary. And then most importantly, I would say for your emotional, just kind of seeing how this could be happening internally, listen for your moon sign. Okay, so with Aries and Aries rising, this is happening in your 10th house. So the release of things and the understanding of the things that have been happening regarding your public image and your career. This is coming up. You could be getting a lot of aha moments on how you are moving forward in these things. And this knowledge could be coming by way of your second house, which is your possessions, your values, the things that you value, the money you make, how you obtain your money, the sensual things, the touch, taste, the smell, the sight, things that you physically, tangibly have. And for Taurus and Taurus rising, this is happening in your 9th house of beliefs, higher learning, philosophies and education, and long distance travel. So this is going to be the release and the understanding and the aha moments of these things in that area, your beliefs. And this is coming by way of your outward appearance, because it's in your first house as well. So coming by way of your first house, or the aha moment could come by way of your appearance, your outward appearance, or who you are, the things that you, or also your initiatives, right? How you initiate things, or the things that you actually do initiate, things that you do, the action behind it. So for Gemini and Gemini rising, this is happening in your 8th house of secrets, intimate relationships, resources obtained outside of yourself. So like other people's resources, like, money you make, people that pay you, kind of thing. And so it's the release or the understanding of these things. It could also be transformation, death, secrets, like I mentioned, karmic, past life karma. So things like possible secrets could be coming up that you did not know about, secrets within yourself, secrets within your environment around you could all be coming to surface. And this is happening by way of your subconscious. So this is in your 12th house as well. So the 8th and the 12th house. So your subconscious patterns are illuminated to things that you believe that you didn't even know you believed. The things that you allowed to create your daily behaviors. So these secrets could be coming out even in intimate relationships as well, because 8th house rules intimate relationships. So there's that. And then Cancer rising. It is happening in your 7th house and your 11th house. So the 7th house is a partnerships, marriage, contracts, things of that nature. So it's the release of those things in a sense, or the release of the beliefs surrounding those things, the limits and beliefs, the patterns regarding what you value, what you would like in these areas. And then your 11th house is the house of material gains, networking, friends. So it could really be shining a light on the patterns regarding these two polarities, your marriage, relationships, partnerships, as well as your network and the things that you materially possess, like your material gains, as well as your networking, your friends, so like your hopes and wishes. So highlighting what it is that you hope and wish to have in regarding to your relationships and your partnerships and your marriages. Leo and Leo rising, this is happening in your 6th and your 10th house. So the 6th house is of day-to-day routines, is of health, is of employment, jobs, public service, as well as the 10th house, which is your outward appearance, your career, your public status, whatnot. So this is going to highlight the things, the structures that are needed, the details that need to be created in order to show up in regards to your business, in regards to your public appearance, or even your employment, whatever your career may be. So for Virgo and Virgo rising, this is happening in your 5th house of creativity, self-expression, romance, sex, children, joy, the things that bring you happiness, right? So the 5th house and the 9th house of the beliefs. So the beliefs that you have regarding your creativity and your self-expression, the beliefs that you have regarding the children, if you want to have children, or your romantic relationships. All of these things will be highlighted. You will receive these aha moments regarding these things. So for Libra and Libra rising, it is happening in your fourth house of home and family, the mother, your roots, your upbringing, your childhood, as well as your eighth house of intimate relationships, resources obtained outside of yourself, transformation, secrets. So it could be secrets coming out regarding your childhood, regarding how you were raised, things that you thought were true were not true, the beliefs that you have regarding this area or your upbringing, or something that someone could have told you was factual when you were a kid. You've now realized like that's not the truth at all. That's not how that actually works for everyone. It's just that person's situation. So that is a thing as well. Then for Scorpio and Scorpio rising, this is happening in your third and your seventh house. So the third house is the house of Gemini. So that's small business, it's communication, it's research. So possibly you could be being shown some things regarding the small business, because it also is the ruler of like siblings, short distance travel, lower level education, like, grade school kind of thing. So you could be being shown things regarding your partnerships in your business, small business, or shown the beliefs or the limiting things, or things you need to release regarding maybe a certain partnership that you have within your business. That's an example. Something could be shown as to why things have not been working out in a certain way in your business. Or within, maybe like there's a dynamic with your partnership with your siblings or your immediate family, because third house is the house of immediate family as well. So those type of areas. So just kind of, depending upon your situation, this is for everybody, depending upon your personal situation. I'm just giving some brief examples. Moving on to Sagittarius. So Sag, this is happening in your second and your sixth house. Yes, second and sixth house. So the second house is of values, possessions, the money that you make, how you obtain your money, the things that you actually do value. And then the sixth house is of your day-to-day routine. So the things that you value daily, how you maneuver through your day-to-day routines in life. So it could be things that are being shown to you that need change or need to be released, that no longer resonate with what you're trying to create in 2020. Things that you continuously do on a day-to-day level are no longer resonating with your values and the things that you desire. So it could be the release of that, and the knowledge or the transformation could come through you switching up your day-to-day routines. So for Capricorn and Capricorn rising, this is happening in your first house and your fifth house. So this is happening in the house of the self. So this is you being shown how you show up in the world. This is you being like a highlight into the things that you initiate, the things that you start, the things that you create, in a sense. And your fifth house of creativity, self-expression, romance, children. So the first and the fifth house. So how you show up in your romantic relationships, or how you show up with your children if you have children, or how you show up in your self-expression. You could be getting shown a light on these things, that something needs to change, something needs to transform, something needs to be released. Aquarius rising, this is happening in your 12th house of the subconscious, the house of undoing, the house of, as well as, karmic, past life secrets, whatnot. So this is your 12th house and your 4th house of home and family, the mother, the foundation, your roots. So it could be you reevaluating, being shown a light on your subconscious patterns that came through the conditioning of your childhood, of your upbringing. And now you're having to remove some of these beliefs. You're having to let certain things go and move beyond them. Pisces rising, this is happening in your 11th and your 3rd house. So the 11th house is the house of hopes, wishes, material gains, networking, your friends, as well as the 3rd house, which is of your small business, your communication, research, short distance travel. So you could be getting shown ways that need to change in regards to your small business, or even the networking, the possibilities that you have regarding that, how you are actually communicating and networking with people. You might need to do more research before you decide you want to do this type of business, or before you decide you want to network with a certain group of individuals or go down a certain path, or whatever the case may be regarding networking and small business and whatnot. So this was a long one, y'all. I hope this has been helpful. I hope it has been insightful. I wish you all a wonderful remaining 2019. Allow the energies to do what they're going to do, honey. I am offering just a few announcements really quickly. I'm offering a year ahead reading, and I will be offering that as of today. So if you would like to book that, the link can be found in my bio. Also, you can email me directly. My email and all my information is found in my bio. But a year ahead reading will give you an insight of the energies to expect. And what I do a astrological as well as a tarot card reading from month to month, every month individually. I'll start from January 2020 all the way through December 2020. And I pull a spread for each month to help you understand, the energies that you are going to be working with and navigating through in each month. So kind of give you an insight of what you can expect for your 2020 and what it's looking like. Also, I have a special going for all Capricorns for your solar return. There is a 20% off discount if you are a Capricorn and you have a birthday. Let me know if you would like to look at your solar return. And a solar return basically gives you the focus of this solar year. So your birth year of this year, 2019, 2020 year. So if you're interested in that, link can be found in the bio. If you are new to following me, thank you for being here. If you are old to following me, thank you for being here. I will be coming out with new stuff. 2020 is going to be amazing, and I'm going to be revamping House of Chiron and all of the things. So just stay tuned and see what's in store, because I'm going to have a lot more time on my hands to focus on House of Chiron. I ain't going to have no free time, but I will definitely have more time to focus on my passion and my purpose. So I do appreciate all of you for being here and watching, and I hope this has been helpful. Have a wonderful remaining 2019, and I will see y'all in 2020.